I want to say welcome, chamber members and guests, to the 2022 Tulare State of the City Address, hosted by the Tulare Chamber of Commerce, of course. Thank you all for being here. My name is Kevin Mooney. I am on the Board of Directors for the Tulare Chamber, as well as the Chairman of the Government Affairs Committee, and I am pleased to welcome you to this event. We're excited to have our largest crowd ever. We have well over 300 people attending today. So for our keynote address, we have the Mayor of Tulare, Dennis Mederos, who currently is our 40th mayor. Dennis was born and raised on a farm in Tulare. He is a graduate of Tulare Western High School, attended San Joaquin College of Law in Fresno. After being admitted to the practice of law in 1977, began his practice in Tulare in 1980. Has been an attorney, business owner, and agricultural farmer for over 40 years. Our mayor served as legal counsel for the Tulare Chamber of Commerce for over 20 years. And in 2013, he was honored by the Chamber as Man of the Year. He was inducted and earned entry in 2013 on the Wall of Fame at Tulare Western High School. Mayor Mederos has served as president of the Tulare County Bar Association, alternate public member of the Tulare County LAFCO Commission, member of the Board of Trustees of the Tulare County branch of the American Cancer Society. He's on the Board of Trustees for the Tulare City Historical Society, the board of the COS Foundation, and is a past president of the Tulare Angra Sister City Foundation. He also served the community in 2002 as chairman for the Tulare Joint Union High School District Boundary Redistricting Committee. That's a mouthful. Mr. Mederos was elected to the Tulare City Council District 4 in November of 2018, became vice mayor upon assuming office, currently serving on the Mid-Cahuilla Groundwater Sustainability Agency, and is an ex officio director of the International Agri-Center Board. Married to his wife Kathy for 43 years, they have 3 children and 2 granddaughters. Friends and members, please welcome to the podium Tulare Mayor Dennis Mederos.
Now, Kevin, if this was supposed to be short, that introduction was way too long.
I agree. We need some less accomplished speakers, maybe.
That's right. Well, I'd say Pete's following me, but he's well accomplished. So, and his wife Ashley even joined him today. Welcome, Ashley. It's nice to have you. Very good. Welcome, everybody. It's nice to see so many familiar faces here today. As indicated, I'm on the verge of finishing my first term. When I decided 4 years ago, it was a family decision to run for city council. It was because I felt, along with the current vice mayor who ran at the same time, that things needed to change in the city of Tulare. And this has been a real education for me over the course of the last 4 years. I want to specifically report to this community that your city is in great shape. The state of the city itself is exceptional. From the time, I've been around a long time, and I haven't seen this community with the excitement and the energy that we have today at any other time. Last year at this time, we had some expected retirements from our 4 of our 9 department heads. Since then, we've had Police Chief Wes Hensley retire after 30 years of dedicated service to this city. Finance Director Darlene Thompson after approximately 25 years. Interim Fire Chief Doyle Soule, who had stepped in until our new city manager, Mark Mondell, could name his successor. And of course, Deputy Clerk Roxanne Yoder retired after 15 years in that position. Last year when I gave this presentation, we had narrowed our city manager selection, but we hadn't made a final choice, so I wasn't in a position to make that announcement. And Mark, we are officially at a point to where we're not calling you the new city manager anymore. That adjective has left. Shortly after conducting an extensive recruitment process, we named Mark Mondell as our new city manager. And I think his service over the course of the last year deserves a round of applause if you will join us. Mark Mondell came from originally the city of Ocala, Florida, then via the city of Rockland, and he comes with a wealth of economic development background. Bottom line is he knows how to run the organization, and that's reflected on our city government today. With the 4 retirement that I indicated, all were fully anticipated, and he went about the task of finding the right replacements under the circumstances. Your council couldn't be happier with these selections. As you'll note, Police Chief Fred Inklin, a longtime captain with the police department, was selected as our fire chief. Fire Chief Michael Ott already lived in our city and was selected for the fire chief position. Our Chief Financial Officer, Diego Ibanez, who is also here. Diego, thank you. And Chief Deputy Clerk Melissa Herman was selected to replace Roxanne. We're in good shape in that regard as far as our department heads are concerned. When I spoke last year, I indicated that while we're moving in the right direction on a lot of different aspects, we still have many issues and challenges to face. Our drought condition is very, very distressing. I can't put it any other way. If you see the pictures that we have here, one is the 1908 picture of an artesian well. Those were in the days where you could dig down just a few feet and water would gush out. It doesn't do that anymore. In 2015, the cities of Tulare, Visalia, and the Tulare Irrigation District formed the Mid-Cahuilla Groundwater Sustainability Agency. And this drought and lack of water, bottom line, is changing lives, and unless it starts to rain, can affect our very existence. But I want you to know your city is doing its part to minimize the consequences of the drought that we're in the middle of. I also have listed here the homeless situation. We will address that later, as is the city addressing that. The fiscal responsibility of our city and our city government is reflected in the fact that this year we have a balanced budget. At the height of the pandemic, our anticipated budget deficit was projected to be $1.4 million deficit for 2021 and a 3.8 deficit for 21-22. That anticipated budget deficit was a whopping $5.2 million that would have required us to go deeply into our reserves. That was an apparent economic disaster. Thanks to the city's source of funds continuing to outperform, the federal government's PPP funding and other governmental assistance, and the federal government ARPA funding, which for our city was $18 million, your city is economically sound and has survived the pandemic. Your city has fiscal responsibility and has not only balanced the budget, but as reflected in this slide, has a slight surplus. We have not needed to tap into our reserves and in fact have maintained a 25% standard reserve requirement. I want to move on and try to keep this short because my wife demands that, but we'll just have to wait and see how long this is. But looking ahead in 22-23, last year I indicated it was my goal to see our organization build for the future of our city. We are doing that very thing. If you look around, you can almost feel it economically in our community. You can feel the enthusiasm that exists in every sector of the city of Tulare. And I can honestly say that the day of things not getting done in our city of Tulare are over. Your city council has approved ARPA funding appropriations that are fiscally responsible and have a return on investment in a way that will enhance our monetary return. I want to give you a few examples. And I'm going to leave the opportunity for some of the discussion of the Zumwalt Park renovation to our city manager when we have our question and answer period. But we've come to the conclusion as a city council that downtown needs a destination point. It needs some place that'll draw people with excitement, a reason for people to come down to downtown, which will generate the economic revitalization that we need down there. For decades, all we've heard is that somebody needs to do something in downtown, and we've come to the conclusion with the assistance of Mr. Mondale that we're going to get that done. And in 2023, I fully expect that you're going to see a completion of that. We will have a downtown master plan update. We'll have a downtown building rehabilitation grant program. We're going to have an annual corridor improvements in conjunction with Caltrans and at the direction of Mark Mondale. The City of Tulare is recognized, and your council is recognized, that we can't do all of this in downtown unless we get to the point to where we start to manage the homeless situation. Deal with the fact that we have people, our people, who are experiencing homelessness dealt with in a humane and appropriate way. This all came about as a result of the federal Ninth Circuit case in 2018. You may have heard of it, Martin v. Boise. That started a mandate that required government to do something about this situation. This case is really quite simple. The court said, in effect, do something about the situation. The court said, we will not let you arrest people just because they're homeless. That's cruel and unusual punishment. With the innovative ideas of our city manager and the crucial assistance of the County Board of Supervisors and Jason Britt, the county CAO, we intend to do just that. This has to be and will be a collaborative effort for the benefit of our community, that's going to benefit the county, and it's going to benefit the city. As our city economics development director, Tracy Myers, best put it when I was discussing it with her, we can't even begin to resolve this problem without first figuring out how to manage it. We intend to manage it. This emergency shelter enables us to be one of the first cities to effectively try to deal with managing this issue. Mark will have time to explain it more if you're in a position to where you want elaboration in that regard. We've taken the ARPA funds that I've mentioned and used part to, again, with the assistance of the County of Tulare and with the assistance of the state and with the efforts of our vice mayor to purchase the Tulare County Courthouse for not only the administrative uses of our Tulare Police Department, but also to partner with the Tulare Chamber of Commerce under the leadership of Donette Silva Carter. Sorry about that, Donette. I try my best. We will, for economic purposes and at the direction of our city manager, develop the courthouse for police administrative offices, and in conjunction with the chamber, have a business accelerator program. This will be used to innovate, help businesses begin and start. They will be taught how to manage a business. And the one thing is they have to commit to continue to maintain their business in downtown Tulare. As you can see, several of our uses of the ARPA funds, our cities recognized early on that utilizing these funds from the federal government will enable the city to reach out, join forces, and find a way to work with other governmental entities in our community to get the best bang for our buck. As indicated previously, we are doing this with the emergency homeless shelter, and we've done this with the Tulare courthouse. We have also done this with our local high school district. I'm pleased to announce that your city government has reached out and partnered to help the Tulare Joint Union High School District build a 50-meter pool at the Mission Oak High School campus. We recognize that the school district well could have done this on their own, but this pool is not only for the benefit of the high school district, it's for the benefit of our city, and it's for the benefit of our community. I want to thank the Superintendent Lucy Van Syak and the high school board for taking this giant step, not only for the students, but for our community. I remember over 20 years ago, we tried to get something like this done because we felt the need was there, and we couldn't get it going. Now we have a board of the high school district that's accomplished that. Lucy, thank you very much. This will bring significant new amenity to our city and will stimulate economic development by attracting out-of-town events and generate hotel and sales tax. One thing that I do want to touch upon is that in November, there will be a cannabis ballot measure Y. This is not a referendum on cannabis. That decision has been made. 3 years ago, the existing council at that time approved 3 recreational dispensaries in this city. So as I've indicated, this decision has been made. This decision now is an easy one. It's in relation to a cannabis business tax. The decision now, as indicated, is an easy one. Do all 3 cannabis dispensaries pay the same fair share of business tax or not? If Measure Y fails at the municipal election in November, 2 dispensaries will pay one rate and 1 will pay at a lower rate. That's fundamentally unfair. Your city has recognized that if we're going to do this, we have to have equality as to all. This is a legal cannabis business tax to equalize the playing field, and the only people paying are going to be the users. It's a user's tax only. This is not a tax on residents. This is not a tax on citizens' homes or real estate. This is not meant to be a burdensome tax on our citizens. Proceeds from the Measure Y funds will go to fund police, fire, roads, and recreation. Our City Council has specifically directed that a significant portion of these funds are to be used to address the emergency homeless shelter project that I previously referred to. The council's had a continuing support and a long history for supporting our public safety. Council has dedicated its support to public safety. We just started the process of purchasing a new, long-needed ladder truck. Council approved the hiring of 8 new Tulare police officer vacancies for filling that. Council approved hiring of 2 new police officer positions. And we've also approved a 2-year financial package agreement with police department management and the Tulare Police Officers Union. We're very pleased to have that behind us. Council has funding that's been approved, and what we did with that funding, part of that funding was to purchase new license plate readers to enhance public safety, and I think our police chief could confirm that these devices are already showing their effectiveness, especially at the outlet mall, I believe. Now, I want to touch on economic development focus. We spent time last year talking about the South Tulare interchange and what we were anticipating. It is definitely moving forward. I've got exciting news. It's going out to bid for contractors on September 5th, 2022. I'm probably taking some of Pete's speech. I apologize, Pete. Okay. TCAG has acquired an additional $16 million in funding, and I think Ted Smalley is here. I see Ted right there. I think we need to give Ted a round of applause. You've been fantastic, Ted. Thank you. And I also want to recognize Pete Vander. Pete has been a real mover on this thing. The team of Ted and Pete have, to a substantial degree, made this possible. So, Pete, I'm actually going to ask people to give you a round of applause also. We have our phase one of the homeless shelter that we expect to break ground in the spring. Its completion will be in late 2023. Our accelerator business project is on a similar time frame. The International Agri-Center is anticipating expansion and has submitted an update of their project and an update of their special use permit. We are building International Agri-Center Way in conjunction with the interchange. That's going to be the road just north of this facility. Our city manager and staff are working on a large industrial project in the south part of our city near this interchange. For that purpose, a consultant has been retained for a citywide marketing and possible branding campaign. What's coming in the future? We anticipate with our recreation department going over and locating a park for purposes of having a dog park. We have 4 one-acre locations under consideration. I'm pleased to announce Panera Bread is coming to Tulare and next to Raising Cane's. We'll have existing industry expansion, which we expect to come from Saputo and Lactalis, which has taken over for Kraft. Our downtown revitalization is going forward through public and private partnership, and we're having near Farm Credit West a new Starbucks kiosk at Cartmill and 99. What I don't have pictured up there are other things going on in the community as well. All you have to do is drive by the intersection of Cartmill and Hillman, and you see the new Altura campus under construction. And Graciela has done great things through Altura in this community. And on behalf of the city, I want to thank you for what you do. Altura Centers for Health has been magnificent, and all you have to do is look around the community and you see their impact. So when you see Graciela, go out of your way to thank her. Thank you. The Self-Help Enterprises has a low-income housing project at West Street and Cross, as well as for many of you that have seen out by Merlestone Chevrolet, Dan's Automotive, right behind there, they are building a new facility also. And everywhere around the city, I don't care whether you go east, west, north, south, there's single-family housing projects all over, and that's exciting. The last thing I want to touch on, and then I'll turn it over to Pete. The last thing is that there are 5 of us that consist of your city council, and you can see them there. When I first was elected to city council, we had issues. Over the course of the last 2 years, we've had a team that have worked hard to bring back civility, respect, and normalcy to our city council. I want to thank each and every one of my colleagues for allowing us to achieve that goal. While we may not always agree on the issues, I believe we have brought back to this council those very things: civility, respect, and normalcy. And I'm pleased to announce that Vice Mayor Mayor Terry Sayre and I have been informed that in light of the fact that we decided to run for 4 more years, that no one is running against us. And this is going to enable the 2 of us to serve with our other 3 council members for at least 2 more years. And as my good friend Craig Vavida would say in this type of situation, that's a good thing. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mayor Mederos. Yes, and let's have a round of applause for the entire City Council who's made some significant changes this year. Our next speaker is Tulare County Supervisor Pete Vander III. He serves as the Tulare County Supervisor representing District 2. That includes the City of Tulare and the communities of Allensworth, Alpaugh, Early Mart, Pixley, Teviston, Tipton, Waukena, and surrounding rural areas. He was first elected to the Board of Supervisors in 2008. Supervisor Vander was born and raised in Tulare County, where he now lives happily with his alleged wife, Ashley, and his alleged 3 children. I don't know if you've noticed, he never brings them to these, but except for today, Ashley. He was educated in the Tulare public school system, graduated as valedictorian from Tulare Union High School. He then went on to graduate cum laude from College of Honors at the University of California, Los Angeles, with a Bachelor's of Arts in Environmental Studies and a minor in accounting. During college, Pete was in a serious car accident in Tipton, and in March 2004, it resulted in his being in a coma for 10 days. The doctor's prognosis was not good, but to everyone's surprise, he fully recovered, missing school while undergoing 6 months of rigorous therapy. In the fall of 2004, however, he returned to UCLA and picked up right where he left off, ultimately graduating on schedule in 2006. Prior to his election to the County Board of Supervisors, Pete worked full-time as a tax consultant, a financial analyst, and then a company controller. Supervisor Vander represents the Board of Supervisors on California State Association of Counties, Board of Directors alternate, the East Tule Groundwater Sustainability Agency as an alternate, the First 5 Commission, Greater Kauai Groundwater Sustainability Agency, Kings Tulare Area Agency on Aging Governing Board, Local Agency Formation Commission, Project Review Committee for Space Planning, Ad Hoc, San Joaquin Valley Insurance Authority, Tulare County Association of Governments, Tulare County Audit Committee, Tulare County Employees Retirement Association Board, Tulare County Transportation Authority, which is the Measure R body, and Tulare County Water Commission. Supervisor Vander is committed to helping make Tulare County a better and safer place. Everyone, please join me in welcoming to the podium Supervisor Pete Vander
Thank you all for joining us here today. It's wonderful to be here and have such a great turnout. My pleasure to be delivering my 14th State of the County address at the State of the City of Tulare event. As you can see, I'm very committed and I love this county. I love this county and I love this city. It's a part of who I am, which is why I always try to make sure that I treat this like it's a family affair and show everyone a picture of my family. So I'm hoping that I can do this. And there we go. Perfect. This is what keeps me ticking. So there's my family, and I'm very blessed to have my wife here joining me. So it shows everyone that I do have a wife and I do have kids. That's why I also like to show this picture as well. So there's my beautiful family, and I'm blessed to have them, and they are absolutely the heart and center of my life. So thanks for coming today. Appreciate it, Ashley. All right, so the quick overview of the presentation that I'm going to give here today. I'm going to talk about the county budget landscape across California, really what we're seeing a little bit, just to give you a feel for what we're really blessed with here in Tulare County. I'll give a Tulare County budget overview. I'll talk about some ARPA funding and the ARPA projects that we've chosen to fund with our ARPA dollars. And then I'm also going to talk about the Hillman Complex, because that is the county's largest presence in the city of Tulare, and we have made a conscientious decision to continue to invest there and to grow the county's presence as a service provider here in the county, and also as a job creator in this community as well. And then I want to talk about some road projects. Dennis kind of took my thunder a little bit on that, but we've got some great things happening with infrastructure, and anyone who knows the approach that I take to government can't tell businesses where to go, but if you build the infrastructure and the right components are in the community, they will come. So I believe that, and I think that we've done very, very well as a county, along with our city partners as well, in laying the infrastructure to foster a very ripe economic development here, or economic environment here in the community of Tulare. So real quick, just looking around the state, what some of our peer counties and neighboring counties are dealing with. You can see that these are all budgets that are close in size to what we have here in Tulare County. In Monterey County, things aren't as rosy as they are in Tulare County. They cut 17 peace officer positions in this year's budget. In Sonoma County, they are using some of their one-time allocations of ARPA dollars to fund ongoing functions in that county. In Santa Barbara County, they have also denied the sheriff's request for funding for that department due to their budget constraints. And in Fresno County, they have not negotiated salary increases for their bargaining units. In Tulare County, we were not even in negotiations with our employee bargaining groups, but I will say, because of our budget position, realizing and recognizing the difficult economic environment that we were dealing with, we brought our bargaining units to the table as a county board of supervisors, and we offered our county employees a 7% pay increase. I think that is significant as a one-time gesture, and not even during a bargaining period. So for those of you who know how bargaining goes, that is a pretty significant accomplishment. In Kern County, sad to say, but they had to close 22 county library branches. You hate to see that when you are closing and depriving the community of the things they need to grow and get better. Looking at Tulare County's budget real quick, the total budget, our total budget this year was $1.62 billion. That's an increase of $165 million. The general fund budget is $949.5 million. That's a $62 million increase from our 21 budget. We have discretionary revenues of $186.9 million. That's an $8 million increase. And our net county cost, the cost to run the county, is $236 million. That's a $15 million increase. We maintain a strategic reserve of $33 million. That's the specific budget allocation, but we also have additional county funds that have specific purposes that I think you could also consider as a part of that reserve. So we're in a very healthy financial position. Our contingency reserve is at $5 million. That's a $1 million increase from previous years. As our general fund is broken down, you can look at it as public assistance programs accounting for $346 million, public protection accounting for $279 million, and health and sanitation equating in $238 million of our budget. Next, on to the American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA, as we refer to it. Everyone knows we received this as a result of the COVID fund, or the COVID pandemic. These funds were from the federal government. Tulare County received $90.5 million that came specifically to the county. So what did the county do with our ARPA projects? I like to think that the county invested in infrastructure that's going to be ongoing and going to return on the investment right back to the county. So very, very happy with what the county has chosen to do. And I'll give you a quick glimpse. I know most of you probably aren't going to go and see some of these projects, but it's important to the county and it's important to me as the county supervisor representing these communities. First project I wanted to highlight, in Alpa, they have a community park out there. That park has never had an irrigation system, and it's never really had infrastructure out there. So the irrigation district out in Alpal would turn on the irrigation waters, I think once or twice a year, and that was the water the park got. So one of the ARPA allocations we made is to install an irrigation system, as well as add picnic tables and grills so the community can go and gather there. And we're also going to repair a defunct electrical system out there. In Pixley, that's another exciting project. We are investing in that park. That's right off of Highway 99 and very much used by the community, but very much needing of infrastructure upgrades. And I'm excited about this project as well. We are repairing some of the arbors. We are adding picnic tables, grills, replacing the water distribution system, and also investing in the irrigation system as well. Collaboration with our City of Tulare, collaboration with our jurisdictions that are a part of our county. I know we are a great partner with the City of Tulare, and the City of Tulare is a great partner with us as well. We were able to contribute $750,000 for the homeless response here in the City of Tulare. That is significant. We didn't do this in every jurisdiction, but we have a great collaboration here with the City of Tulare, and we're able to work together. Some of the specific projects that we're investing in for capital at the county, we're investing in the Hillman Women, Infant, and Children Clinic and Program, the Hillman Annex, the Hillman Lab, the Ag Commissioner's Office, the Alpal Library is going to get an upgrade out there, the Tipton Library is getting an upgrade, as well as the Early Mart Library. We're specifically upgrading some of these HVAC systems that aren't really functioning, and if they do function, they don't work well. So it's going to be great, especially during these summer months, to have those projects completed. Some of the other things that we are doing with capital projects, out at the Hillman Health Lab, which is right here in Tulare, the county is going to allocate $5 million to that project to expand it and create a more functioning space for our employees and for our constituents that go and seek services there. We're investing in an Alpal skate park out there as we're redoing that park. We are also constructing a new morgue. Is that exciting for anyone? Hey, where's Ron? I mean, I thought Ron might be here and be really excited by that, but we're investing in a new morgue. I know the sheriff is excited, so I will say that as well. That's much needed. $5 million, it's expensive to build morgues. Also, the Ag Commissioner's Office will be receiving a solar project to provide for their electricity going forward. Next, we're going to talk a little bit about the Hillman expansion and the service improvement plans that we have out there at that campus, right here in the City of Tulare. It's the only place in the county where the county actually owns a whole square block of real estate. So I think it's important, rather than having vacant space, to invest there and to add infrastructure that's going to not only contribute to the county service providing, but also contribute to the City of Tulare, which I represent. So always trying to help the community that put me where I'm at. So we're going to be investing in behavioral health services at the Hillman site. We received some one-time funding to create infrastructure out here. We are going to also not only build the facility or expand the facility, we are going to also coordinate with transit to work on the transportation to and from the site, which makes sense as it's so close in proximity to the Tulare Transit Center. We have the public health lab located there, which was really highlighted how important that is during the COVID pandemic. We were one of, I believe it was 7 accredited labs in the entire state of California, and I think was it 17 in the western United States that was accredited to even test for COVID, and that's right here in the City of Tulare. Pretty significant and something to be really proud of. It was allocated statewide $18 million. Tulare County received $3.7 million of that. We are expanding the lab, and then also improving our biosafety, going to level 3. How many of you know about biosafety? I don't really know, but it's on the slide, so I'll talk about it. Anyways, I'm assuming it's important. I'm kidding. Just say, HHSA, I know you guys are here, so very important, a very important project, very important. Okay, also Tulare Works. This is a great project. This is a significant investment in an existing facility to expand, to upgrade, and to make a better work environment for our employees and for the constituents that are seeking services here. So very excited about that project. Some significant road projects that we have going on in and around the Tulare area. I wanted to make sure I highlighted them. International Agri-Center Way interchange, they're actually going to have to get a new print shop at Caltrans in the state to actually get that terminology to fit on one of their freeway signs. So congratulations to the City of Tulare for that achievement. $16.4 million made up the final funding piece that was missing for that project to be able to break ground and go to construction advertisement. It is going to be advertised. We could be breaking ground this fall or early spring. Very, very exciting. This is a project we've worked really hard on, but I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the partnership that took place here. It was a public-private partnership. The International Agri-Center came through significantly to help fund the environmental impact report to push this project forward. I want to thank and recognize the Faria family for donating right-of-way to make that project happen. And the county and the city worked really hard with TCAG and through TCAG to get this done. Very, very significant. We have on the northern end of this city the Cartmill Interchange project, which is world-class. And if you go to the south part of the city, we will have the International Agri-Center Way project interchange. When that's done, we have economic development written all over this city with those two significant projects. Very, very proud of those. Also, another exciting project is the 99 widening. So in the state of California, widening is a bad word. I don't know why you would think that, but everywhere else in the metropolitan areas has gotten their widening, but we in the valley have not gotten our roads widened. You talk about equity and fairness. Now that they have all theirs done, they don't really care about the rural areas. Well, I care about the rural areas, and TCAG cares about the rural areas, and we're going to get this done here in this community. So we've been able to advance. Yeah, I think that's a great thing too. We've been able to take what was allocated as a major road rehab project at Caltrans and convert that into permanent widening project right here in Tulare County. That's going to go from County Line Road up to about Avenue 120 in Tulare County, so right above Pixley. That project is advanced, and those lane widenings will become permanent, not just temporary. Very exciting there. Total project cost there, is that right? $80 million for that project. And that is a significant savings as to what it would have been had it just been a temporary project and then had to convert to become permanent at a later date. Studies are underway for the further widening through the City of Tulare. This is an exciting thing. The CTC continues to acknowledge and collaborate with this area as we continue our widening projects, and much of that is due to the relationships that we have up in Sacramento and the notoriety that Ted Smalley and TCAG has for getting projects done. So thank you for that. All right, last questions. I wanted to be faster than Dennis Mederos. That was the most important thing to me. And all of my colleagues' pictures wouldn't fit on this slide, so I couldn't get all that I do done without acknowledging my colleagues either. We are a Board of Supervisors. I'm not one. There is no one dictator on the Board of Supervisors. There are 5 of us. Supervisor Shuckling is here with me today, but Supervisor Larry McCarty, Supervisor, let's see, who else? Oh, Pete Vander. I was going districts, 1, 2, 3, okay. District 3 is Amy Shucklin, District 4 is Supervisor Eddie Valero, and last but not least, the largest of us all, Supervisor Dennis Townsend. Thank you very much to our great board, to our great staff. We get so much done at the County of Tulare, and I really do believe it's because we have great people. So thank you to the county employees that are here today. And I will acknowledge there was one countywide elected official that did not get introduced. I want to make sure that she does because she's new. And I also supported her during her uncontested campaign. Tara Freitas is here as well, so I want to acknowledge her. She's our county assessor. So as always, thank you very much for listening to me and for the opportunity to not only present today, but to serve as your Tulare County Supervisor. I take great pride in the work that we do. I take great pride in this community, and I think we've come a long ways in the 14 years that I've been on the Board of Supervisors, and I'm very, very proud of this county, very proud of this community, and I look forward to the 2023 event, which is August 25th, 2023. I sat there when I saw it on the slide, Donette, and I said, today's the 26th. And then I saw that it's 2023. So they're giving us a heads up in advance notice for the next year. Thank you very much. Hope everyone has a great weekend.